We're just gonna go somewhere else. We're just gonna leave the house and do this thing, because this is just awful. We end up cleaning up. We end up getting our boxers back on. The boxers actually didn't have any damage to it. Speaking of which, somehow, I don't know how that happened. So I'm pulling up my boxers, putting every clothes on. We're walking out the door. Literally, for the rest of the day, after we find some place to have sex and finish, I literally couldn't hear for probably about 6 hours. And it began. This night, after what had happened, getting firecrackers thrown at me during sex, a lot of things ended up occurring. Hello, my name is Freaky. Welcome to the channel. I do stories on this channel and also a whole bunch of different gameplays. If you're into that type of stuff, make sure you subscribe. This one is going to get very, very cool and kind of creepy at the same time. So I don't know how this happened. I don't know why this happened. I never seen how this happened. So this is something that came out of the blue, really, for me. It wasn't really something that I was looking forward to, nor was I really thinking this would ever happen to me. So this is going to be a story that I told about 3 years ago, and then 4 years ago prior, or a year before the 3 years, so 4 years ago I told it too. And some of you guys might be here still today. I don't know how long you guys have been subscribed to. You guys might have heard this story before. But this is following up the firecracker thrown at me during sex story. So if you guys missed that one, go check it out before you're watching this one if you want a little bit of a origin story to this story, which is kind of weird how all this fucked up shit happened all in one day. So after being basically kicked out of my house for having sex by my brother and his friend, we ended up going on a drive. And when I mean we, it was me and this girl that were having sex in my basement, and we wanted another place to do it. We did it here before, and it was a good time. You know, it's excluded, it's outside. Yeah, we're into that sort of kinky stuff. So we ended up driving to our local park, which is across from a mall. It's a really, really nice park. There's a lot of deer that go around in that area, some coyotes here and there, and we decided to go in our spot. So we ended up parking a little bit down the road from this spot. The way to get into it, you have to go through the woods about maybe 50 yards, and then you get to this bridge, which is incidentally where we actually do the deed of doing the dirty. So we had to crawl through there. Before we ended up going in there, we were kind of chilling because we heard people talking back there. It was still sunny outside. And then we ended up seeing some stoners come out of there, and they just reeked of weed. So we were like, okay, maybe that's a stoner's sweet spot, like that they go and then they smoke weed over there so they don't get cut by the popo. Maybe that's a place where they go, right? So we ended up going in a little bit later, and it was about, I would say, 7 o'clock. It was getting near the time where within an hour and a half, it'll probably start getting dark outside, start getting dusk, and we just decided to go in there real quick. So we're kind of just walking in there casually, going up to the bridge, and we're just kind of fucking around a little bit. We're looking at this river that's underneath the bridge, and it's really, really nice looking, and we're just trying to find, like, frogs or turtles or anything that's in there. I was kind of, like, messing around with it, and then we end up hearing out of the blue, like, a coyote fuckfest of, like, yiping and, like, all this crazy stuff that's going on. I remember, I think I have it recorded somewhere on my phone at one point in time. I don't know if it's still on my phone. I might have threw away the the little card for it, but the memory card for my phone. I probably threw it away. But anyways, there's like yipe fest going on, and then you hear like, I don't know if they're attacking a dog, they were surrounding a deer, or maybe trying to attack a raccoon, because raccoons kind of make a little yipey noise too. And it's just all these coyotes just yiping and howling at each other, or at least at this object that they were probably going to attack, and it probably went on for about 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, somewhere around that ballpark. So we didn't really have enough time to really get the act going until it was about dusk. And now, it was still light outside to the point where we could see, right? And I ended up, you know, trying to persuade the deed because we got kicked out of the house for having sex. So I was like, okay, well, we might as well finish, right? So I start doing the thing. We pull down her pants. I have her bent over the railing of this bridge, and I just start banging it. I start going to town. I start doing everything that we normally love to do with each other, and we start doing it. We start banging, start doing it, flipping over, doing different positions, and it's just a good time, you know, because we've done this before at this exact location, but not this late at night. So randomly, it's somehow dark. Like, you know how you get, I don't know, maybe you guys haven't had sex before, or maybe, okay, in a sexual stance, you kind of get out of your mind, you kind of get out of reality, you don't really know what's around you. Even though I was looking left and right over this bridge to make sure no one was coming, even though it was late at night, so no one really should be coming anyways, I would have rather had a person find us banging it out, even though it's really, really dark. I'd rather them find us banging out than what actually happened. So it was one of those moments where I was caught in the moment of this session, basically. I was banging that shit hard, trying to get myself to finish, basically, and we just hear, like, probably about 100 yards away, right? I hear this, like, loud rumbling, like a something like that. It sounds more like a muscle car, so I can't really replicate that because I'm not a muscle car. But I pretend to be on YouTube, obviously, with my interpretation of a muscle car. But we hear that from like 100 yards away, and I think it's on like a road or something. I think someone's revving their engine, like trying to squeal their wheels and stuff, and trying to burn the rubber. But that's not it at all. It starts getting closer. And it's like edging up every like 10 yards. It's like repeating that growl, that deep gutter growl noise that keeps happening. And I still think it's a car, right? At this point, I still think it's a car. Now, it's pitch black on this bridge. I can't see shit at this point besides the moon is literally right above us, so it kind of gives us a little bit of a glow on us or on the bridge, but not really what's in front of us, but just kind of like what's behind us and what's around us, really, but not in front of us. So we start hearing this growl getting closer and closer, and then it just dies for about 5 minutes. So I'm in my head, I'm like, okay, that was a car. It had to be a car. But no. Out of the blue, we hear this growl, the loudest it could possibly be, literally within 10 feet of us. You hear a loud something like that, and it sent shivers down my spine. And I instantly, like, went flat. Like, I was like a worm in a second. I went from hard cedar wood to instantly a gummy worm. And I pulled the hell out, and she pulled up her pants. She screamed at the top of her lungs. I've never heard a girl scream as, like, violent as she did. We freaked the fuck out. We didn't know what the hell was going on at this moment. We didn't know what it was because we couldn't see what was in front of us. We just kept hearing this loud gutter noise. So at this moment, we're scrambling. We pushed ourselves to the right side of the bridge, which is the opposite way of us leaving this wooded area. And like I said, mind you, we are 50 yards in at this point, right? So I don't know what this is. We don't know what animal this is. We don't know if this is a demon, as I said in other videos, because we didn't see the actual thing. We didn't see eyes or anything. And it felt like it was literally in the creek that was 10 feet away from us. So there was nothing to be seen. It's that dark. We're stumbling. We're freaking out, trying to figure out what the hell we're supposed to do. We're like panicking. So I'm like looking at my phone. I don't have like a flashlight app. She's like, get a flashlight, get a flashlight. None of us have a flashlight app on our phone. We don't have a flashlight on us. So I had to quickly download a freaking flashlight app on my phone to be able to try to see what the hell is in front of us. So I quickly download it, I get it, and then I flick it on. And I'm trying to like flash it over the railing of the bridge, and I'm trying to see him. I'm like, holy shit, where is this? I'm dodging like things if things were coming at me. I'm like, she's like really close to me, so I'm kind of like holding her against me, trying to see if anything's there. We don't see a goddamn thing, right? We don't see a thing at all. And I'm like, okay, I have an idea. And she's like, whoa, what is your idea? And I was like, you have pepper spray on you, right? And she's like, yes, I have pepper spray. And she like panics to open it and then starts spraying it like sporadically. Like if a woman was in danger, she would hit anything in that sight, right? So she's like spraying this thing, and this is like a normal mace jar, and it has a pretty good range on it. It didn't affect us. Luckily, I've never actually seen anyone use pepper spray in public, so this is the first time for me. And she's spraying it just aimlessly over this railing, trying to get it away. And at this moment, I think that we at least hit it or something, or like it's not gonna be wanting to attack us if that's what its mindset was going to do. And we didn't hear like any like yiping or like oh I'm scared or anything. We didn't hear any like trees breaking, any bushes getting ruffled, nothing. This thing was, I don't know where it was. It could have disappeared when we were in a panic. It could have literally got scared of us. But then we hear the growling again. And at this moment, I'm like, oh fuck, you probably just pissed it off. And we're like stumbling back and forth. We have no idea what the fuck to do at this point. We're still kind of backed up, and I'm like, okay, I have another plan. This is the only plan that I could see working at this moment because nothing else is going to work. And I know it's a bad idea, but it's a bad idea for us to stay in this situation. We need to run, and we need to run fast. Because if this thing actually wants to get us, it possibly could easily chase after us and tackle one of us to the ground. And basically at this point, I had to take the fall for it. So we were kind of creeping up the bridge and screaming and stomping like up and down on this bridge, trying to spook it away. We were like, fuck you, motherfucker, get the fuck away, yelling at it at the top of our lungs, stomping on the goddamn wood and trying to scare it away. And at this point, I was like, fuck it, let's go. Boom, and we start bolting. I have her running out in front of me, and at this point, I have no idea. There's like a crossroad, so we're like running, and I'm like, we get into this crossroad, and I'm like, holy shit, where the fuck do we go? And she like pulls me, yanks me to the left, because that's the way out, and she pulls us out, and we're running. Granted, mind you, my ass is still out at this point because I didn't have time to pull up my pants. I wasn't thinking, oh, my ass is hanging out. This is a bigger situation than getting attacked by a fucking, I don't know what it is, a cougar, a demon, a wolf, or anything like that. We have no fucking idea at this point. We didn't see eyes, we didn't see anything. It was just a deep, utter growl that was coming from 10 feet in front of us. So we booked it, and finally we got out. And at this point, I like tripped and like fell out of the woods, and I'm like kind of like doing that scary movie style, like pushing my feet up from behind me, trying to push myself forward, looking back at the direction where this thing was coming from. And luckily, nothing chased us that night out of the woods. Still to this day, it really gives me goosebumps. This thing could have actually been, and this is theories, right? A literal. This is hard to say because I don't want to say it, but it could have been a werewolf. It could have been a werewolf. If there was ever a werewolf that I could possibly think a sound or any animal to make, it could have been one. I'm not saying that it is because I don't believe in that shit, but if there was one, this was the situation to where it would come from. And obviously it tried wanting to mate with one of us, and it was going to be awful if it chose me. So this has been my story. We booked it out to the car. We drove to a gas station. We ended up telling the guy, the clerk at the gas station, what happened. We didn't really say we were banging it out because that would have just been fucking awkward. But we told him like everything. We were all in like sweat and like tears and everything. Thought we were going to die this night. Like it was that life-threatening of a thing. Oh, I thought I was gonna die once. That was literally what was going to happen. But at least, I got to bang the pussy one more time, but I ended up getting blue balls, because that fucking werewolf. I don't know. I just thought, why not? You know, it's bound to happen eventually. We'll probably get something good here, right? We'll get something good here, right? Maybe. I do like that XM10 skin. I'm not gonna lie. This one looks like it's been through a garbage bin. You know what?